Welcome back to One Nothing Podcast, where we make you depressed and slap happy all at the same time. Joining us for this episode is none other than Rachel. Me. What's new in Rachel world?
We kind of just spent a whole hour and a half talking about it, but just boy drama, work drama, everything drama.
Oh, I actually want to point out, so recently somebody overheard the episode in which you and I stopped because that boy texted you, and they made a point to say oh my God, that was so funny. Y'all stopped to be like, oh, we texted. So that was kind of ironic.
Well, it's true. I was so happy, and then now I'm sad again. But what was the life of a situationship?
It's a roller coaster of life with heterosexual dating interests.
The worst.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, well, Rachel, I don't know if you've been catching our posts on Instagram because I know you're busy, but we've been making global waves nowadays.
I see that. That.
We're in 13 countries. We have listeners 13. That's wild. And last week, we landed the 30th spot on Pakistan's top 100 list.
Wow, really? Pakistan wants to hear us?
Yeah, apparently we have a lot of fans in Pakistan, but that was pretty cool that we landed number 30th in top 100 for a country we don't live in that doesn't even, I don't think they even speak this. Do they speak English? No.
I think they speak Pakistani.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I think I'm pretty sure it's Arabic.
I'm showing my ignorance for cultural anything right now, but either way, I'm just so pumped. It's crazy that we have people tuning in from all over. Nigeria just joined us last week. We've had the Philippines tuning in lately. We're taking the world by storm. But I'm pretty grateful. I was literally, I was not convinced this was going to go anywhere at first. But it's kind of going somewhere. Kind of cool.
I would like to just make an apology in advance to everyone listening. I am not directly with Amanda right now. We're trying this thing out where we're doing it from our own homes. And it's not an excuse because you also live with a lot of animals. Your animals just don't bark. Mine are very trigger happy with their barking. So if you hear barking in the background, I'm so sorry. Just pretend it's not there.
That's all right. I think it'll blend in well with the squeaky chair. Makes an appearance. People love the chair. I thought it was annoying with the number of people.
Really?
Oh my God, I love the squeaky chair. I'm like, okay.
Really? That's such an odd thing to like.
Weird flex, but okay.
Hey, whatever. Yeah, whatever gets me going.
Absolutely. I'm like, God, as long as I'm not going to buy a new chair, honestly, that's all I give a shit about. So to catch you up in what's new in our One Nothing land, because we've had a couple episodes where we've missed you dearly, but we understand you're busy as fuck, so we get it.
Aww.
But yeah, we've had a few people that are like, where's Rachel? And I'm like, bro, she has a life. No, I'm just kidding. But you are busy with those 12-hour fucking shifts and stuff. So I get it. But we have a lot of new things going in the works. So just the other day, I met with Kevin. He runs Where the Weird Ones Are podcast. And we had a 90-minute video call interview thing the other day. And I got a lot of opportunities to talk about the podcast and the goals and all that stuff. And that episode's coming out on Kevin's Instagram and his podcast platform in June, which is super cool. So stay tuned. That's my first little interview from another podcast. So I was really excited about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's his Instagram name?
It's at where_the_weird_ones_are. Yeah, and we'll be coming out sometime in June. We talked about a bunch of stuff about One Nothing, some of our victims, and he asked me a bunch of questions about my dog bite and stuff. We were talking about near-death experiences, and we just got to talking. So it was a good time, but he's putting that out soon, so I'm really excited. I'm going to post to the One Nothing Instagram with all of the information about where to download it as well once we get closer, because it's going to be a couple weeks out yet. But once it's out, I'll post all that so everybody can listen. It was a good time. I liked it. Also, later today, I say today, but really Tuesday, but today, because that's when you guys are hearing this. We have the installment for the Paranormal Project, and we kind of mix things up a little bit. So instead of doing one massive 2-hour long episode where we all try to like get our topics in and run out of time, we split it into 4 episodes. So each episode, one of us covers our topic. So last episode, 2 weeks ago, was Vicky with Miss Spooky Obsessed, and she covered the Silver Queen Hotel, which is like a haunted hotel in Virginia City in Nevada. And later today, it's my turn, and I get to discuss one of the most haunted hotels in all of Nevada called the Gold Hill Hotel. And it's really spooky, and it's got a lot of really cool history. So anybody who's into that stuff, I'll also post the link for that on the Instagram. It is alive. So if you don't catch it when it airs, I'll direct you at that time to wherever it gets uploaded, because I don't have the hours on here to upload all of that to my platform. We broke up here.
Fair.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good time. And that ties up episode 8, guys. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
I joke. We haven't even talked about our victim yet, or our sexy segments or anything. Ugh, it's too easy to get these guys. Yeah, they're sexy. That? I don't know. Our sexy segments. I think they're sexy. They're probably not. Our joke of the day and question of the week and all that.
I took it another way. Okay, but yeah, what you're saying.
What way did you take sexy segments? Like,
I mean, honestly,
tapeworms and lingerie?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you were going with it. I was just confused.
It's too easy. Oh, real quick, as we do, I just want to throw out a few shout outs. I know these take a while, so I've condensed this to be a little bit shorter, but we do have a few buddies. Our friend Eddie, he's been emailing us often with kind words of encouragement and the things that he loves about the podcast. So thank you, Eddie. You invest a lot of time into being a great person, and I really appreciate that. Also, David, he runs the Instagram Down the Rabbit Hole. He reached out. He was being so sweet, making fun of me for my infatuation with Australian accents, but it's okay because I do find them attractive. But he listens to both this podcast and the Paranormal Project. Can you go lay down somewhere? Gosh, the pacing of these dogs. Maybe I should be apologizing. Little tears. But he even went as far as to give us our own shout out in the podcast that he helps run, which is called Let's Get Freaky. And then, of course, we can't forget the amazing women of the Suspended Sentence podcast. So I know we haven't had a chance to talk about them yet, Rachel, but they're really cool. They have a true crime podcast. They delve a lot into true crime, mental health issues, and kind of how they correlate. And they just landed this wicked cool opportunity where they actually got to interview Lisa Michelle Lambert, who was from the Lori Show case, if anyone knows about that murder. So they have like a 4-part episode where they interview her and all about the case. And it's crazy. Those girls are just nuts with all the details that they were able to get about that. And I can't give away too many details, but maybe, just maybe, we have some kind of a collaboration in the works with those ladies. So when that comes, Rach, we might need you for that one. So we have all this badass energy flowing out of our microphones.
I will do my best. I will absolutely do my best.
For sure. But yeah, I love it. I love podcasts run by like badass women. And then when we get together and do something cool, it's even better. So I'm really pumped for that. But that's just a little teaser, more info on that to come because we've just started chatting about that. But where the hell did I put my phone? Oh, there it is. Okay. Real quick. Let's do the last couple of our followers because I want to keep that going because people love it and it's cute and I like to give them their 5 minutes. So, most recent few followers, Unsweet Tea Pod, Earn with Claire 1, The Design Coupe, Makeshift Motors, Mika Collins 9, BSBLNB, TRALFAZ Rocks, and the Men of Misfortune podcast. Thank you guys for following us. I hope that we're entertaining on social media. I sure hope so. And then lastly, before we wrap up this part of our episode here, we're going to pick the most recent follower on TikTok, who is Texas Farm Mama. Texas Farm Mama has 883 followers, which, wow, that's quite a bit. And she has a whole 8 videos posted, mostly of ducklings and goats, which are adorable. So if you like ducklings and goats, go follow at Farm Mama TX. There you go. There's the shout outs.
I love ducklings and goats.
I know, right? I'm like, how these people that have like last time our recent follower, he had like 3,000 followers. He didn't have a single video. I'm like, how do you do this? Like, I post weekly.
I wonder,
like 40 people.
not with Mama's goats and ducklings, not her, but I wonder with that one that you just mentioned if he bought his followers.
Oh, that's a good point. I forget people do that. That's so weird to me.
Or maybe he was posting relevant and like
like
educational things that were, really, I don't know, like amazing or whatever, and then he just deleted it all.
That's a good point. Maybe. Well, cahoots to you guys for figuring out TikTok, because I'm not there yet. I try, but I just get people who are like, they comment stuff like, this better be worth it when I watch it. And I'm like, okay. You don't have to.
No way. Do they actually?
No, I swear to God, I got a comment on a video where someone said, it better be as good as the trailer. Like in like a circle. I'm like, okay, I'll try, but it's hard because the trailer's a video. So like, it's a little different, but it was a little aggressive, but it was fun, I guess. Lastly, the question of the week from last week, we had more answers to this, which I was very impressed and thankful for because I hate only reading out 1 or 2 answers. But our question was, if you were to hold a Guinness World Record for something, what would it be for? And I have a few people who answered. We have the Conversation Cabin who said talking because I love to talk. We have Twisted Chamber said eating chicken wings. I absolutely love them. I even think it could be called an obsession. Ha 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 ha. With that many ha's. And then Lamone Watts said, holding my breath. I used to teach a children's swim class and became freakishly good at holding my breath underwater. Cool.
Dang. I think for the longest, I think the world record for the longest person like you can do that for, if that sentence even made any sense, I'm so sorry, is like 4 minutes. I think is the longest people.
Really? Damn.
I think. Don't nobody quote me and comment being like you're wrong. I think I heard that somewhere.
I can't hold my breath for 30 seconds underwater. Like if I'm in like the room, like in the air, I can. But something about being underwater makes me panic more, and I cannot hold my breath long underwater at all.
So I used to play, and I'm sure you did, as did everyone else. I used to play that game when you're little. We're like, okay, who can hold their breath underwater the longest? I feel like that kind of prepped me a little bit. I feel like I'm decent at it.
Oh, okay. You're a good holder of breath.
I'm decent. Not 4 minutes great, but like
no Guinness World Record for you, Rachel.
No, like maybe 40 seconds to a minute, maybe.
Shit, that's better than me.
That's pushing it, but like the maybe. But like, do you not ever, when you watch movies where they go underwater and you hold their breath to see if you would like survive in that movie or not?
I do that all the time. Or like any situation where someone has to hold their breath for some reason, I'm like, is this like legitimate? Like, could this happen? 9 times out of 10, it's not. But sometimes.
No, sometimes like like Avatar, The Way of the Water, I would not survive. But
like 9 minutes.
Just being underwater. Yeah, no, that one I feel that.
I don't know if you used to do this, but when I was a kid, I had this weird belief. Actually, as a kid, I still do it now. If I go through a tunnel, I have to hold my breath for the whole tunnel or it's like bad luck. And the number of times that I've wished bad luck on myself for underestimating the length of a tunnel has been great.
I've heard about that. I don't know if there's a lot of tunnels here in Florida, because to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember going through tunnels. Maybe that's like a more northern thing.
Yeah, there's
not. But I've heard of people doing that when they were little, like holding their breath through the tunnel.
Yeah, I definitely would do that, and sometimes I would make it through to the light, but other times I would like nearly go unconscious because I was like trying to make it
while you're driving.
No. When I was in a passenger, I don't think I still do try to hold my breath, but not to the point of like blacking out anymore. I'm just like, I'll just suffer with the bad luck at that point. Like I'll just take the luck. Watch the bad luck be getting into a car accident at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, Jesus, you better not escape or something.
But yeah, that was a good world record for you, Lamone. I feel like I cannot pronounce any of these.
It's useful.
It is. Yeah. What if someone's trying to drown you? You can like play dead like 2 minutes in and still have 2 minutes where they're like, let's make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good skill to have.
I mean, that's like you took it somewhere, but that's not where I was going with it. But like, yeah.
Well, it's better than eating chicken wings.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, if we're talking about versatility, then yes.
Versatility.
Yes.
I mean, unless, someone holds a gun to your head and says, eat all these chicken wings. And I guess then versatility.
Then they're winning. They're winning at life at that point.
Then we had Broken Rivers, who said the most unread books in one bedroom, which I can probably relate to a little bit.
I love that for him.
I know. Fire in Her Soul 222 said not talking, which was really cool because we managed to find the Guinness World Record holders for both talking and not talking. So like that topic's over. Like,
maybe they should meet.
Yeah. Well, would they ever say anything? Would it be a conversation? Just be one person talking as the other is silently just staring.
I think that's just called ranting, but yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Is it ranting if the other participant is not a willing participant, or is it just like...
I don't think that's... Yeah, because I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
They're just like...
Then we had Mr. Thursday Night, who said surviving the most beagle farts. And Arrowhead North said the ability to fall asleep literally anywhere, which personally I like that as well.
I love that one. I used to be really good at that. When I was working those 6 days a week, I would be like, and I'd fall asleep in movie theaters. I'd fall asleep sometimes on the way home. I'd fall asleep at work. You know that. You would
all the time.
You have so many videos of me just like passed out at work.
It was so funny because we'd be literally like in conversation and you would fall asleep so quick. You'd go from answering and then I would say a sentence and then you'd be knocked. And I'm like, how does she do that?
It's called being
and you're so peaceful. And then you also do the same thing when you awake. You'll be like talking about you and you'll literally just open one eye and be like, yes. And I'm like, okay. Can't tell. You got a poker face in your sleep.
But I'm not so good at it anymore because now my line of work causes me to do the opposite. But I used to be pretty good at that too.
Yeah, that's a good point. What would yours be if you could break a world record? What would you say?
Probably like, okay, let me see how I word this. I'm trying to word this grammatically correct. Okay. It would probably be like the person who would like the quickest get on a guy's nerve. Like, I'm really good at that.
The world record for being annoying.
Yeah, like super fast. Like I'm talking like with less than under like 6 words. I feel like I know what to say to just like really
I definitely was thinking you would be like a few days.
No. Like
oh my
less than 6 words.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh. Mine would probably be overthinking, or actually, I take that back. Mine would be for getting involved in situations that absolutely do not warrant my involvement in any way.
Oh my God. Guys, have we talked? I feel like we've talked about
I think we have. Just hand me the record at this point. Like,
oh my gosh. She would come into work with these stories. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I would think like, okay, I don't know where the story's going. It's probably like a really mundane thing that like happened with like some small insignificant, like, ooh, no, her stories always take the wildest turns where I'd like end up looking up from my phone. Like, what the fuck, Amanda?
Honest to God.
I'm like, why? Have you told them about the time that like you jumped out of your car at a green light because there was a spider and someone was like yelling at you? And then there was another time like at a subway where you got involved with the guy because, okay, honestly,
he was so mean. In my defense, he was so mean. But, like, and the cashier had my back.
Okay. You know how you have your questions of the day?
Yeah.
I'm going to put one out right now. Tell me how people, when you guys are in like the public waiting in line, like at a restaurant, like at a fast food area, and a person cuts in front of you, how many of you are really going out of your way to be like, hey, you cut in front of me? Because personally, I'm just going to let it go. Amanda decides like, she picks these random hills that she decides to die on that are like not relevant or like big enough where I'm like, you really shouldn't just girl, just let it go. No, she goes and starts this argument with this guy, like, you cut in front of me. And of course, this guy happens to be the biggest asshole of like all of Fort Myers that she decides to like die on this hill for. And he's like going in on her. And I'm like, Amanda, literally.
I literally came back to work crying from lunch.
I'm like, just let him get his Subway. Like, it's fine. Just let it
Oh
go.
my gosh. That was such a brutal day. So what had happened was I went in to get my fucking Subway and they made my sub for me. And then I went to pay and she's like, oh, our card machine's not working. And she's like, do you have cash? And I was like, no. So then I had to go to the ATM and they were out of cash also. So then I had to buy something at the register and then get cash back. And then I went to get back in line. Mind you, we only get like an hour lunch, which maybe seems long, but when you're trying to battle Estero Road, like, or not Estero Road, but fucking Tamiami.
41. Yeah, 41 is a nightmare.
Literally, it takes forever just to get down the road. So trying to just get back to work on time so I could clock in without being late and getting another write-up for tardiness. And he would cuts in front of me. Bitch, my food is already made. I just want to pay. Like, I was so mad. He was so. Ugh, I did. I went back to work a little sniffly with the whole.
Yeah, what happened?
Situation
She's
I started.
telling me this story, and I'm like, Amanda, girl.
I should have just let him go in front. I know it wasn't worth all that.
It really was.
Well, there's the hill I died on. But well. I am thankful that we have enough engagement to constitute doing these questions every episode, and I'm really excited to see the number of answers grow. Please don't answer Rachel's question, because I mean you can if you want, but
I'm just curious.
Answer mine.
Like, yeah, no, answer Amanda's first if you're gonna answer mine. Like this isn't like a one, like this is a pick one. This is you need to do both. This is a double whammy kind of thing.
A 2-pointer.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, I was going to tell you the tea about the girl that I used to party with, getting drunk and driving through a house and killing someone, but I already told you that earlier, so I don't want to give out too many deets because I don't know if it's all said and done. But this girl I used to party with got drunk and drove her car through a guy's house and killed him. That's pretty fucked up. Grow up when you're
pretty
a heavy drinker.
Pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's
messed up. Maybe one day we'll do a story on that guy. Maybe. Well, speaking of stories, let's get into this one. It is kind of out there. It's pretty crazy, a lot of twisties and turnies, and I'm really glad that you're here for it because it does relate to you and I and our line of work just a little bit. Not much, but a bit. Just a little bit.
Does it have to do with animals?
Yeah, it does. And surprisingly, this is not. So the last episode was our animal attack episode, and it was a story of a woman who was killed by a mountain lion in Oregon. So for this one, hello? Oh, I just got your snap.
Yeah. Okay, well, I did it discreetly, but since you decided to call me out.
I was just like, what is this? I thought it was something that you were trying to tell me without saying it on the air, so I immediately...
That's exactly what I'm trying to do, but thank you for voicing it out.
Do I have time to sneakily do that? Yeah, you go girl.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I literally took care of this before we got on the call. But I don't know what his problem is.
Take your time. I'll hang with them. Rachel needs to let her dog go potty, and she, instead of saying it on the air, just slyly messaged me and said, Ventus is staring at me. Ventus is her dog's name. She said, Ventus is staring at me to let him out. Do I have time to sneakily do that? Sneakily? And then I ruined it by being like, oh, what's this message I just received? So we'll give Rachel her moment to go let her puppy out real quick. Meanwhile, hey, it's not the time. Why do you... I got my own dog problems. You guys really... All day I sat here and worked at this table and you didn't make a peep. And then I get all this recording going so all these wonderful, pleasant listeners of ours can hear our story and y'all get to ruckusin'. Yeah. Yeah, I said ruckusin'. That's a verb now. It means to ruckus. To be ruckusful. There you go. There's your dictionary of the day. You can delete the dictionary app and just listen to 1-0 for all of your vocabulary needs. Definitely do not do that because your vocabulary will consist solely of profanity and mispronunciations. If I have anything to do with it. Trying to think of something to fill this time. So let's see what we got in the works. Well, I already told you guys about the interview the other day and all the fun stuff that we have coming up. Oh, here's something cool. So we're 2 episodes away now from episode 10. I have the hiccups all of a sudden. And episode 10, we got to go out in style. So we will be thinking up some really cool stuff. I have a lot of things in motion, and I am really looking to get some more people on here so that Rachel and I can just have a few more voices and stuff. So if you have any interest on being on the on an episode, either sitting in and listening, or if you have, oh gosh, sorry, I scratched my microphone there. Sorry about your ears. If you have any stories of your own about animal attacks or freak accidents or grisly murders that aren't super well known about, please feel free to reach out, because we can always orchestrate something for a story of yours. But we'd love to collaborate. We're already getting our toes wet, I guess. I don't know. I don't like the way that sounds. We're starting to get people to collaborations. I don't like the phrase to dip a toe.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. We're just giving everyone a chance to go potty and get their beverages and stuff,
Oh, okay, perfect. That was definitely much needed. He stood there with his leg hyped up for like a good solid 3 minutes.
Oh my God. All right. Are y'all settled in?
I am. I don't know if you're talking to me or the other people, but I am.
All of you, but especially you, because you're the only one that can respond at this moment. So.
Yes, I am.
All right, so we're going to get into the story for today, which is, I'm so excited to tell it, because I know this whole time you're going to be like, oh, I know where this is going. And it doesn't go there. It's so fun. Obviously not fun. Sorry, that was a poor terminology. It's not fun. Nobody's death is fun, but it's entertaining to learn about just because of it's so out there. But our story today starts on a chilly winter day, in particular, February 13th of 1983. And as you know from all of our other stories, this is the day that our main character is born. That's usually how we start them. Her mother, Anne Langren, and her father, Richard Weimer, were overjoyed to welcome their new baby into the world. Side note, I saw somewhere that Richard's name is now Kathleen, so I'm sorry for dead naming you, but it's necessary for the story. They named her Erica, the baby. And she enjoyed a beautiful and loved childhood growing up in Medford, New Jersey, which for our international friends is in the United States. I'm so excited I get to say that. We didn't do our trigger warning. You're listening to a true crime podcast. Stop listening now. All right, there we go.
Okay.
So I don't know much about Erica's adolescent life. That's usually a good sign, because nothing traumatic or terrible probably happened. So that's good. But we do know that Erica graduated from Cherokee High School in 2001. And she was pursuing a passion of hers that Rachel and I both share, veterinary medicine. Yeah. Erica, however, had taken a little bit different of a path, and she became heavily invested into equine medicine, or horses for the layman. Following her graduation, Erica decided to study abroad, and she headed to the prestigious school of Hartbury College, which is in Gloucester, England. And it was there that her adult life really began to flourish. So she's working towards obtaining her master's degree in equine sciences, and she, while attending that to get her degree, she meets and falls in love with this man named Kieran Marshall. He was a sweetie pie. She was adorable. It was just a whirlwind of a romance, and they bonded over a lot of shared interests, including horse science. But more than anything, they just completely fell hell over heels in love. Can't relate. Sorry. But they just little lovebirds, and everybody was just a little jealous that they had found each other, because of just how adorable and sickeningly sweet that they were. Sorry, you can't tell if I'm a little But Erica supported herself through college by working at the Fountain Inn, and Kieran and Erica were notorious to the staff there as well. They probably had all of them singing that stupid Cupid song if they were out at the time. So eventually, Erica graduates, and she's ready to put this degree to use. She's like, I just want to work with horses. I just want to get in there and do my thing. So she puts her feelers out. Golden, for love of God, interrupting everything. She puts her feelers out, and just like that, she's like one does, posts on the job post, and she's looking for openings and stuff. And to her delight, she does come across an opportunity to work with horses, but not just any horse, racehorses. So she's
she got a job at the racehorse industry?
She got a job working with racehorses, racehorse medicine, which is probably one of the most prestigious medicines out there in terms of species. They really expensive, And you probably know, you're like, oh, I think I know where the story's going, right? You're wrong. Well, you might be wrong.
I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty good idea.
So this
Can I say what I think?
Yeah, say what you think. Yeah.
I think she's gonna get killed by a racehorse.
Ooh, that's a good hunch. We'll see. But this job opportunity of working with racehorses, it involves picking up her life and heading back to the United States, which is something that she probably intended on doing at some point since all of her family lived in the US. But like she has this guy now who she met in England that lives in England. So she's like, oh, I want to pursue this opportunity, but I don't want to lose this love of my life, of this guy, this amazing, amazing guy that never exists anywhere else except for this one human being, clearly. So, so she talks to Kieran, but luckily he's like, do it, which I love. I love a supportive partner, guys. It gets me all mushy and warm. So he's behind her and he's like 100% supportive, which brings me back to Geraldine Lorgay and how supportive her husband was. I was like, where are these men? But yeah, but he's like, I support you, baby. Let's go follow your dreams. So he joins her and they move across the pond back into the United States. Where do you think she moves to continue this career with racehorses?
Probably Florida.
Bing! Yep. In 2010, her and Kieran moved to Morriston, Florida, and she begins working at a facility called Kesmark, which is Kesmarc, and that's situated on West County Road 326 in Marion County. Kesmark stands for the Kentucky Equine Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center. So through my research, I actually found that this is the second Kesmark. The original Kesmark is in Kentucky, and this was supposedly like the sister, building, considering they have the name and it's called Kentucky, and they're in Florida, however, after the case, they made it very known that they're not affiliated in any way. Absolutely not. I'm sure calling bullshit on that right the fuck now.
Yeah.
So Erica's thrilled about this opportunity, and she starts working there pretty much right as they move. She starts getting to work, and she's eventually, after a long period of watching her work and seeing how amazing and intelligent she is, she's put in charge of one specific treatment that right now is kind of taking the veterinary world by storm. And that treatment method is called a hyperbaric chamber. So do you know much about hyperbaric chambers, Rachel? So you're in specialty medicine.
Isn't that the thing they did in Stranger Things?
Stranger Things, hyperbaric chamber, Stranger Things. Where was there a hyperbaric? In which?
Isn't that when she like sat in it so she could like transport herself?
No, I see. No, she was in a sensory deprivation chamber. That's like the floating pool of water that shuts off all your senses or something.
Yeah.
So this hyperbaric chamber, as it relates to this scenario anyway, it's a small steel room, kind of. It's like 10 foot by 12 foot, and what they do is they help speed up recovery time for injuries by pressurizing 100% oxygen and like cramming the room full of pressurized oxygen. So how it works is the high pressure condenses the oxygen molecules and it increases the blood oxygen levels up to 15 times greater than normal, which is supposed to accelerate healing of like tissue and blood vessels and like, brain tissue and things like that. Obviously, this has its place in racing horses. People typically want them back on the track, like right away. And Erica does a really great job of running this thing. And for 2 years, she runs it as part of her daily job duties, sometimes treating like 2 to 6 horses a day in this room. So Erica now has it all. She's got the doting boyfriend, the great job. She's back in the States where her family resides, although albeit they're a little bit up north, but still. I think her mom stayed in New Jersey. Her dad lived, I want to say New York, moved to New York. But then Kieran does what we're all wondering if he'll do. He pops the question, and our girl says, hell yes. I know. So cute, so sweet. She's pumped. He's pumped. They're adorable. They're disgustingly in love. And in November of 2011, they finally tie the knot, and Erica becomes Mrs. Kieran Marshall. So sweet and cute. I love it. So we're going to jump ahead just a little, not too far, but just a little, to February 10th of 2012. Erica and Kieran are coming up on their 90 days of being married. So far, it's everything that they dreamed of and more. They're loving married life. This is the shit. And Erica starts her workday like any other on this February 10th and begins her treatments. And she gets to one of her patients that she's treated several times before, and he's a large 6-year-old male racehorse who goes by the name Landmark's Legendary Affair. And for the sake of saving my tongue, I'm just going to refer to him as Landmark from now on. Landmark was an exquisite creature. He was wintering in Florida, and his owner had lived in Virginia and was eagerly awaiting the news of his treatment. So Landmark he suffered from a condition called EPM, which is otherwise known as equine protozoal myeloencephalitis. This condition is a neurological condition that horses contract, I guess, from eating infected feces from possums, and can result in coordination troubles, muscle atrophy, and in general, just a loss of feeling throughout the body. Upon my research, I found that this is an extremely difficult disease to diagnose because it mimics a host of other conditions with the symptoms, but he was seemingly improving from these treatments that he had had in the hyperbaric chamber. So he'd spent time in this chamber 4 times before. And he was like so well behaved. Like he didn't, usually their typical protocol is like to sedate them because it's a small little room. Horses are skittish as fuck. So normally they sedate them and, they do all that. Well, he had been so good the first few times. He really didn't need sedation. So they just forewent that. Like, no big deal. He just stands there. No big deal. And like I said, there's like weird noise and stuff. It's just a 10 by 12 foot little room. So typically spooky for horses, but not for this guy. He was like a good horse. And also present for this treatment was a woman named Sorcha Maloney. And she was visiting from Ireland that day to observe the procedure. And she was interested in maybe taking this medical treatment idea back to Ireland with her, and was really eagerly watching as Erica was like getting everything ready for this horse's treatment in this chamber. And Sorcha was like, oh, I think I might take this back to Europe with me. This is a really cool concept. Side note, I did reach out. I found Sorcha on Facebook and I messaged her like 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard back yet. I'm not complaining because, as you'll know, Sorcha didn't end up so hot this day. But I did try to reach out to see if she could give us any kind of a statement. So that was kind of...
How recent was this?
How recent was the accident? 2012.
Okay,
Yeah.
So not terrible.
Like, yeah, I felt like that was enough time that I could reach out without like triggering any kind of PTSD, but who knows? I mean, she went through a lot, so I'm not judging that she didn't respond. Maybe she didn't even see it because Facebook messages don't like alert you unless you're friends. But at any point, I tried to reach out to see if she would give us her perspective or like help clarify any details just for accuracy. I wasn't able to reach her, but I did try to maintain that everything was still as accurate as I could. So that's my little side note. So Erica's getting Landmark loaded into this chamber, and he's, like every other time, he's doing good. And normally, prior to these treatments, the horses have their hooves wrapped in this protective coating. But for whatever reason that I wasn't able to find, this was not done for Landmark. No big, right? Yeah, wrong.
Well.
Yeah. So Erica closes the door, essentially just locking him in there for the treatment. And she goes to this control room, which is right nearby, to observe him. And on this control room, there's like this big panel. It's got cameras to monitor him. It shows his vitals, the oxygen level, the temperature. It's got all these settings. And all she does is really just watch him and control this for this treatment. And the inside of the room is like, the walls are like metal, obviously, steel walls, and then they've got padding and then like another protective coating over them, and that's what's keeping everything nice and safe. So the horse bumps around. He's just bumping into cushioning and things like that. So Erica closes the door, goes to her control room, gets everything set up and going, and then flips the metaphorical switch. I'm sure it's not a switch that operates a fucking hyperbaric chamber, but whatever method of powering it on, she did that. And she settles in, and her and Sorcha are watching and just discussing how it works. Erica's sharing her experience with it, what she's seen it do. Everything's going good. So a little while into this, which would be the 5th hyperbaric treatment that Landmark's legendary affair has undergone, Erica grew a little concerned because she's noticing that Landmark is just a little more agitated than usual. Like he wasn't his typical chill self. He was like kind of restless and moving around a little bit. And before long, he began just kind of throwing his legs out, kicking a little bit. Like he was like not really chill with what was going on. So Erica immediately is like, that's not good. Like he definitely should not be like flipping out inside this room full of compressed oxygen. So she's like trying to, figure out what she can do to get him to calm the hell down because it's not what you want. And Sorcha, she leaves the room because she's like, I'm going to try to do what I can to help Landmark. So she leaves the room, to try to help. And just as she leaves the room, Erica looks at the screen displaying Landmark inside the chamber, and she watches as he kicks and kicks and kicks. And one kick kicks off the protective padding on the wall. Another kick kicks off like the foam that covers the metal. And with one final kick, the metal of his horseshoe just so perfectly sparks against the wall and creates, Yep. And one spark is all that it would take in a room full of 100% pressurized oxygen. The chamber explodes. The control room explodes. And the sound was so immense It shook the whole facility where there was 30 other horses that were awaiting medical treatments. And Sorcha is thrown a good distance. Erica is completely enveloped into the explosion. The walls and the roofing of the building, as well as whatever contents of the chamber, they send debris flying more than 1,200 feet into the air. And then I saw somewhere the debris radius was almost a mile in circumference. People 30 miles away in Ocala heard the explosion.
Stop.
Yeah. That's how enormous it was.
Where's she at? Morristown, you said it was?
Yeah, Morriston, Florida, which I honestly, it sounds like a small town, so I don't really know where that is, but it's apparently about 30 miles away from Ocala, and the blast was so large that even people in Ocala heard the explosion. Like, that's just insane. So emergency responders, obviously, they arrive right away, and they find 33-year-old Sorcha, who survived the explosion and almost immediately begins explaining what happened. Like, she's lucid as hell, and she's like, this is what happened, this is what happened. So they're continuing to comb through the wreckage, and I'll post photos later of the explosion because the facility was just demolished. I mean, there's just, it's like the whole thing just, it did like a bomb, essentially it was a bomb, but eventually they do find poor Erica's mangled body, and having seen that, she had died in the explosion along with Landmark the horse. They do call time of death for Erica Marshall only 3 months after her marriage and at the very young age of 28 years young.
Oh, no.
Just so sad, especially for her husband. Marion County Sheriff Detective Rhonda Stroop, who investigated the scene, reported to media saying it was a horribly huge explosion and it happened so fast that there was nothing that anybody could do. Sorcha is airlifted to Shands Hospital in serious condition, and she undergoes surgery to save her life, but she does eventually heal and overcome the physical damage done by the blast. Don't know about the psychological damage, but the fact that she was like coherent enough after that to be able to stand up and be like, this is what happened, that's just unbelievable to me. Sorcha, you are an incredibly resilient human being. So Kieran, understandably, he's devastated and immediately starts looking into the hyperbaric chamber and like, what happened? Like, is there any possibility for error? Like, this should not have happened. So he finds that the hyperbaric chamber was inspected on 5 different occasions, but there's no record listing the date of the most recent inspection. So that kind of lifts an eyebrow for him. And he's like, this is a little weird. They should be keeping better records about this. So this leads him down a road where he starts talking to some other employees and people who worked with Erica, and he finds this extremely disappointing information. Kieran learns that in the weeks leading up to this accident that cost him his newlywed bride her life, the chamber had been reported for not functioning properly several times.
Bruh, I'd be pissed. I'd be like going on a whole rampage.
His whole, like, your wife just died. I don't know. I can't imagine what it would be like to be him and learn that your wife died, and then to find out that what happened, like that the equipment wasn't even functioning properly. Just, oh my gosh. So officials do look into this as soon as they hear of this, and they see that Kesmark had relayed several concerns about the chamber to the people who owned it, which their company is called Equine Oxygen Therapy Resources Incorporated. And they were reportedly supposed to come out to fix the thing. And we all know how that goes, being we come from the veterinary field. We call someone and wait fucking ages for someone to show up. So while they're waiting for someone from this Oxygen Therapy Resources to come fix it, they should shut it down, right? Like, they should just stop using it.
Yeah, like you're not able to use it.
Yeah, they did not. They allegedly continued to allow staff to operate the machine, knowing that it's busted. So Kieran Lawrence.
I have a question then. So did it blow up just because like what was wrong with it that it was not like working properly? Like the foam and the padding came off too quickly? Was the horseshoe not supposed to be sparking that quickly against the metal wall? Like, what was faulty about it?
So I couldn't find specifically what the complaints were when they had, like, when Kesmark had complained about it not functioning properly. I do know that the fact that Landmark did not have that protective coating on his hooves, which would have prevented the metal from his horseshoe coming in contact with another metal surface, that had a huge part to do with it. So there's some question into what kind of protocols they're using, if they're skipping over stuff like that. That's very important, when you have a room full of combustible material and like the opportunity for an animal with metal on its feet to, So I feel like, I don't know if that was a protocol issue, that they weren't enforcing protocols properly, and it was like just humans becoming a little lax, and that's what happened. But But he lawyers up anyway, and he sues the shit out of them. He sues Kesmark, he sues the oxygen therapy people, basically everybody involved. He sues them all for negligence in July of 2012, so the same year. And Kesmark, get ready for this. Kesmark comes back with their own defense, and they state somewhat unemotionally that, quote, they had no obligations concerning the maintenance of the chamber, and they have no idea about these reports of it malfunctioning. And that if they had no obligation to warn staff of this alleged defect of the chamber.
They had no obligation. They didn't feel obligated to warn their staff.
Right?
After one of them just died.
Some prize winners there, right? Definitely want to run out and work for you guys. Just like all this that just happened, like a perfect storm of events to cost this poor woman her life, and these people are like, we had no obligation to warn you of that. Like, where's the sympathy for this guy that just lost his new bride after 3 months? And they just had this fantastic life, and they just barely get started, and then this happens. Like, where's the compassion for that?
Jesus, some people, man.
I know. But sadly, as it turns out, as much as they were being assholes with that, they really weren't technically wrong. So I found out there's actually no process that exists for hyperbaric chambers used in veterinary medicine. Like there are for human treatment protocols, but in veterinary medicine, it's pretty well a free-for-all. Like as long as you have the thing, basically you run it however you see fit, you do what you want with it, which seems so wrong. Like that is such a dangerous piece of medical equipment that you're just allowing people to just to run it without any kind of protocol or oversight.
Or training or anything.
For training,
like that.
Exactly. That's just so scary. Kieran did speak of his late wife to the media after the accident, and he said this about her. He said, she only cared about other people, and she would not want all of this fuss, but that was Erica. She was perfect. That is so sad. R.I.P. to Erica. Kieran, if you ever hear this, I'm so sorry for the loss of your beautiful and intelligent wife. That is so heartbreaking, but sadly, that is the story of Erica Marshall and how she lost her life in a bizarre freak accident that 100% could have been prevented. Just so sad and messed up. Breaks my heart.
That's crazy though.
I know. Like you work in specialty, so you work around a lot more dangerous equipment than like even when we work together at the clinic. Like you have probably like a lot more dangerous equipment. Do you have protocols in place for all of that?
So I don't know I'm pretty sure they're just called oxygen tanks, but we have like 4 cages that are oxygen tanks. So that with a pet who's in respiratory distress, who isn't pulse oxygen, like which is basically meaning for people who don't understand, like they're SpO2, so like they're just not getting enough oxygen into their body, like an appropriate amount. We put them in these chambers. Well, they're not chambers; they're just like cages that are specific for the oxygen. And we turn them on, and we make sure that they're on at 100%. We put them in there, but I don't think when we handled them. We've never had this is combustible. Don't get me wrong, the oxygen tanks and all that stuff, when we move those around, yes, we're highly aware that those are combustible and we're careful about moving them around.
Yeah, and I think the oxygen cages you're talking about, I'm not sure if they pressurize the oxygen as much as just deliver high concentrations so they can breathe easier. But this thing, it crushes the oxygen down to where it's molecularly strained, and it's really combustible at that point. I mean, with anything pure oxygen like that. Like you throw a can of whipped cream on the ground, it can explode. And that's, a small amount of pressurized oxygen in that versus the amount that would be in a room big enough to treat a horse. So I was wondering if you have protocols set in place for anything like that. But it's just interesting that there's so many protocols in place for human medicine and then not so many for veterinary medicine. Maybe that's not across the board necessarily, though. Do we lose Rachie? Rachie, come back. Well, I don't know where Rachel went. We lost her for the end, but that's all right. We're almost wrapped up here, so she'll join us back if she can. Oh, that's her right now. She said, I think I lost you. All right. Well, I'm just going to finish up without her then. I'm not sure where she went. I must have had an internet snafu, but that's okay. This is a learning experience and a work in progress with this video thing because, yeah, she did. She dropped off. That's all right. because this is new and we haven't done this style yet, so we'll work out the kinks for next time. But she was in for the story. It was super cool to hear her opinion because she works in specialty veterinary medicine, so I really wanted her opinion of what she thought of that. So to end our little day here, our too cool for school fact. So the management company that owns Kesmark is called Legacy Acquisitions. And the guy at the top of that chain, his name is Robert Miller. And interestingly, Robert Miller did suffer a little bit as well for what he went through. Or for what happened to Eric. I don't want to say what he went through, but for what Erica went through, he did end up suffering a little bit for it, just a little. There's a worker compensation law in Florida, and it protects the business owner from lawsuits in the event of an employee's accidental death. So as long as they have the correct insurance coverage, that they're kind of protected. As it turns out, Robert did not. There was a small error in the insurance documents and revealed that Kesmark was not covered under the policy, which meant Erica's death was not covered. So after being denied coverage by Bridgefield Employers due to this error, which is the insurance, Bridgefield Employers Insurance, it left Robert himself without immunity from this workers' compensation law, and he was held personally liable for Kieran's wrongful death lawsuit, in which he had to dip into his own pockets to settle. Naturally, he turned around and sued his insurance company. I couldn't find the results of that lawsuit. What I did find, though, that Robert Miller's family pockets are pretty full there, Rob. Your family owns a ton of racehorse stables, a slew of private residences, a bunch of businesses across Florida, and I'm pretty sure he's rebounded from that loss, but just ridiculous. Like someone died and you're over here hashing out who should pay. F this place, if I'm being honest. Our question of the week for this week is, if you could have any profession, what would you be? / your dream job, what would you be? Oh, Rachel, she said, I see the screen, but I don't hear anything. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to work out. Rachel's like, bring me back. I don't know how. Because we're already on the air. Yeah, I don't think I can bring her on when we're already in it. Maybe, can I? Oh, let's see. Rachel. I don't remember your email, Rachel. Oh, that's right. BAN. Let me not say her whole email out loud so she doesn't get messages or stuff. I don't know. She might want them. Maybe not, though. Well, if she joins back, then we'll get her. But if not, that's all right. So yeah, the question of the week, if you could have any profession. This is so hard to do this and be messaging Rachel at the same time. All right, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on. If you could have any profession, what would it be? Please answer. I'm going to post it on Instagram and TikTok. I really want to hear your guys' answers. I am really excited to read through them. It makes me feel like I get to know you guys a little bit better, and I just really enjoy interacting. So please, please head on over to our Instagram at One Nothing Podcast, spelled WON, not ONE. And then our TikTok under the same name at One WON Nothing Podcast. No dashes, no hyphens, no periods. Straight. Our joke of the day. I swear, things are just trying to cause noise during this episode. I'm about to start over new. Our joke of the day. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm losing it. What does it mean if you find a horseshoe? Well, it means some poor horse is walking around in only his socks. But it's so funny. Oh my God, I know. You're laughing so hard. I can hear it through the microphone. Anyway, that was my joke of the day. I try to keep them relevant. I'm going to plug one last time our social medias. Again, Instagram, TikTok. We're going to be on later today with the Paranormal Project. Please check out my Instagram because I'm going to post the link on my story as soon as we go live. I do expect to see some of y'all in there. We're talking about a spooky haunted house with a lot of rich history, and we have 3 other badass chicks joining in who are going to be giving me their experiences and information, and it's really, really cool. So I implore you to check it out. Yeah, it's going to be cool. As usual, our sources for the day. I compiled all the information from this episode from a large variety of sources. I did cross-check information for accuracy. If there was something that I could not verify as accurate, I left it out. But as usual, if there's anything that I missed or something I got wrong that you feel that I could have done better, please do reach out. I want to modify that and correct it right away. We don't like any mistakes. So reach out to us at One Nothing Podcast on Instagram or TikTok, or you can email me at onenothingpodcast@gmail.com with your correction, and I will make sure to make an amendment during episode. We're going to pretend like Amanda has her shit together and that her technology is not failing her at every corner because it totally cut off the end of my episode and I have to re-record it. But it's okay. This is the very first edited episode of One Nothing Podcast, guys. I don't edit normally. I just, whatever happens, happens. I just like to be real with you guys. I don't like to be, choppy and like cutting out things. We just say what we say and then you're here for it. Anyway, we are going to get to those sources. Our sources for this episode, we have a variety. It was so much interest in learning about this case, but then so sad to hear everything that happened. But the sources are dailymail.cu.uk, metro.cu.uk, legacy.com, Ocala Star Banner, Chronicles of the Horse, horseauthority.com, CBS News, Palm Beach Post, and veterinarypracticenews.com. Lots of really good resources there. And I did cross-check everything for accuracy, which was easy to do with a lot of prestigious veterinary websites available out there. Again, if you guys like what we do here and you want to be a part of it, you want to be on the show, or you want to send us a story that you want to hear us cover, let us know. We'd be more than happy to take a look, and if it vibes with our vibe, we'd love to have you on. We like getting, collaborating with other podcasts. We want to get out there a little more, so feel free to hit us up. I'm saying a lot. It's because I don't have anything in front of me. I'm just going off of memory because it chopped off the end of my recording. So my leopard geckos are behind me going crazy, trying to climb the walls of their very generously sized enclosures. What are you going to do? All right, guys, our hint for the next episode. I'm going to warn you now. The episode coming out is really, really dark, and it sucks. It's got some raw 911 audio in there that's heartbreaking to witness. It's got really grisly details. I don't expect that all of you are going to be able to make it through, and that's okay, but it's still something that deserves to be talked about, so we're going to do an episode on it. Your hint for that episode is going to be no counter argument. That's it. No counter argument. And because I know some of you didn't understand the hint from last episode for this one, I'll break it down. The hint was an animal, a basketball game, and a lack of vocal clarity. All three of those things are horse. There you go. Horse, which was kind of cool because we had 2 back-to-back animal episodes, and this one wasn't even really death. I mean, it was death by an animal, but it was more so death by a freak accident. The animal didn't try to kill her, so I'm not counting that. But it kind of fell into both categories, which is neato. But so sorry for the family, for Erica, for everyone who knew you, and for Sorja and everything that she went through. Just some really resilient, strong, brave women. And really, you guys kick ass. So. Erica, R.I.P. Kieran, I'm so sorry. All right, guys. That's all I have for today. I'm going to cut you loose. We'll see you next time. Oh, gosh, that's right. I got to tell you the date. I can't leave y'all hanging. Let me find the date. The date. So, we are coming out with the next episode on June 13th. So, two Tuesdays from now, which will also be the next installment of the Paranormal Project, where either Courtney or Farah are going to go about their haunted hotel, which also is definitely worth a listen. For those who, dabble in the paranormal, I know we don't do paranormal here, but I am involved in that collaborative effort where we do paranormal. So if you like the spooky, ghouly shit, check us out over there. Check me out over here. Hit me up if you want to collab, if you want to do whatever. I'm open. I'm flexible. I like to have fun. If this constitutes fun for you guys, then you're my people. All right, well, without further ado, I'm gonna end it here. I think we've gone on long enough. Are you gonna say it? Do you want me to say it? You should say it. Go ahead. You should. Yeah, you listening right now. Go ahead. Say it. Say it out loud. Louder. Little bit louder. There we go. Stay alive, everyone. Good job. I know you didn't even try. I know. You just sat there listening. You didn't even make an effort. I know. I see through it. All right, guys. Bye.